Hello everyone, my name is Perry Sergis and I am joined today by Joyce Murray, the Member of Parliament for Vancouver Quadra. Welcome, Ms. Murray.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Perry.
Ms. Murray, you have a number of roles and responsibilities in Ottawa, and our viewers can see some of those on the screen right now. I understand that you've been appointed by the Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff as the Intergovernmental Relations Representative for the province of British Columbia. I was wondering what this means and if you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Yep. I have the privilege of being his advisor for British Columbia. Our new leader, Michael Ignatieff, does have a new idea of how the Federation should work. And rather than the different orders of government being hierarchical, he sees them as sitting around the table almost as equals and addressing the concerns that Canadians have with governments working together. So to do that, he needs to know what the issues are in the different provinces, and my responsibility is to be that bridge, communicate the things that BC needs and wants of the federal government, and bring forward the key things that he needs to know about BC.
One of those top issues that I've been hearing a lot about is gang crime. It's a big issue in Vancouver and BC in the last several months. Can you tell us about what people are saying to you?
Well, they're saying it's completely unacceptable, and I agree wholeheartedly. The kinds of drive-by shootings, the murder rate, the open warfare amongst gangs, the drug crime, completely unacceptable. So we have to do a better job on that. And, well, I'm committed to helping in any way I can.
I know you spoke recently on this issue in the House of Commons, and I think we can run a 1-minute clip here quickly on that.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak about the recent explosion of gang crime in Metro Vancouver. Crime has always been part of human society, but that does not excuse government ineffectiveness in controlling and reducing it. On the contrary, we must continuously improve and strengthen the complex network of resources, policies, processes, and laws designed to protect citizens. That takes partnership, coordination, and progress by politicians at every level of government and all political parties. We collectively represent each individual citizen, and they have a right to expect their representatives to work constructively together on their behalf and to not engage in divisive partisanship and to not hide behind rhetoric about who is and who is not tough on crime. On this issue, we cannot afford to play games. On this issue, we must find common ground because it is literally a matter of life and death for the innocent victims of drive-by shootings and for the young gang members themselves. When BC's ministers came to Ottawa to tell us what new crime laws BC needs, I met with them not once but twice, and I stand here today to confirm that I will work with the province, my colleagues and government to make those laws a reality.
So Joyce, what more can we expect on the crime issue from Ottawa and the Federal Liberal Party?
The Liberal Party is supporting the crime bills. I was able to, as the IGR liaison, I was able to bring information from what the BC ministers wanted to the party leader before they even came to Ottawa. So when they came there, we were already open and in our support for the crime bills that they were looking for. And we've been pushing the Conservative government forward to bring those bills to the House. What we need, though, is not just the ability to catch and charge criminals. We need tough and appropriate sentencing. But, you know, we also, the other half of it is we need to prevent crime. And I think that that's really where the current government has fallen short. They've cut funding for prevention and for youth programs that would help them stay away from a life of crime. So the Liberals will be pushing also for preventative measures to reduce the amount of crime.
Okay, great. Well, besides the big crime issue, another huge issue is obviously the economy, which is what everyone's talking about right now. Now, the 2009 budget just passed, and it passed with Liberal support, and I was wondering, what can you tell us about that?
We were definitely encouraging the government to take measures because we saw back in September the signs of BC falling into the recession that it's in now. The current government was very slow on the uptake on this. They even towards the end of November, they came forward with a budget that was for British Columbia in surplus. At that time, we were already in deficit. So these measures have been slow coming, but once we saw the budget at the end of January and we saw some of the things that the Liberals had demanded were in the budget, like some funding for housing and funding for infrastructure and so on, we were committed to getting that money out the door as soon as possible. I mean, there's areas of British Columbia that have just been devastated by layoffs and the closures of mills and other activities that are subject to this recession. So we've got to get out there helping people.
I know a big part of that help and a big part of the economic stimulus is infrastructure spending. And I know that you've spoken several times in the House of Commons about this. And I'd like to quickly look at one clip of you in question period.
Speaker, the Minister's Department confirms that only $80 million of the $1.5 billion allocated for the Building Canada Fund has actually left federal coffers. That's 5 cents on every dollar promised. The minister brags about projects that are piled on his desk. That's precisely the problem. Municipalities are ready to get to work, and his government won't let them get out of the gate. Well, when will the minister stop with the meaningless photo ops and get the checks into the hands of the communities that need them?
I know those question periods often don't provide all the answers you're looking for. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit more about your concerns regarding infrastructure spending and infrastructure dollars?
Well, infrastructure dollars are so important when the problem, a key problem right now is unemployment, because it's not just the jobs building things, it's all of the suppliers, the goods and materials that are needed. So we, as Liberals, discovered that a lot of the infrastructure spending from the 2 previous years under Building Canada Fund, that spending had been announced and announced. It was approved and budgeted spending, but it had never flowed to the projects or the communities that needed it. In fact, 95 cents on the dollar had not flowed, was still sitting in Treasury. So that's not going to help the situation with the recession. So we have been bringing it to the public and the government's attention that they have to do a better job with that. And not only had the money not flowed, where it had flowed, it was very partisan, it was very focused on conservative ridings. That's not right. This is everybody's money, these tax dollars. 7 out of 7 announced projects in British Columbia were in conservative ridings. Now that's not right. So we've been holding the government to account on that.
So ultimately, will this budget do what it takes to get us out of this economic mess?
Well, the global situation is really the key factor. So, and economists have a variety of projections. I think people are looking for some leadership on this issue, and they really haven't been seeing that from the Conservative government, which has been all over the map. I mean, first, there's no problem, people should buy shares. Then we're going to be in a surplus, they said in November. Recently, the Prime Minister has been kind of flip-flopping from this is an incredible crisis to it's no problem, Canada is going to be out of it soon. So we really do need to see leadership on this issue.
Great. Well, let's take a short break and we'll come back in 1 moment.